Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Alter Bridge universe, where I'm reviewing every full-length record featuring one or more members of Alter Bridge. Today, I'll be reviewing Apocalyptic Love by Slash, Myles Kennedy, and the Conspirators, so let's get into it. This record is the first of 3 in a mini-series of debut albums for Alter Bridge's side projects, all starting in 2012. It's funny, I spent 2012 preparing for the world to end and becoming obsessed with drum set and tabletop RPGs. Meanwhile, 3 of the 4 members of Alter Bridge were gracing fans with an exponential amount of new content. Really puts your life into perspective, huh? Apocalyptic Love by Slash, Myles Kennedy, and the Conspirators, man, what a mouthful, is the first of 4 records released by this rock and roll supergroup. But it's actually not Myles' first brush with Slash. Before he joined Alter Bridge, he received an invite to audition for Velvet Revolver, another supergroup led by the legendary guitarist. At the time, Myles was fighting a severe depression and declined the invitation, ultimately leading to his decision to join Alter Bridge. Slash then released a solo album in 2010 featuring Myles on 2 songs, and the two embarked on a global tour together to support the record. Finally, with the Conspirators in tow, the foursome recorded and released Apocalyptic Love in spring of 2012, beginning Myles' deep dive into projects outside of Alter Bridge. The record was met with mixed reviews, despite its stacked ballad of musicians. However, I would tend to agree with these reviews. I wasn't amazed by the album, but I do have fun listening to it. This band is drastically different than Alter Bridge, so you have to go in expecting more blues-based riffs and a different vocal approach. That being said, I'm not a huge fan of Myles' vocals on this record. He's often more nasally and barky, especially during harmonized sections. It fits the blues rock style, but it's just not my preferred approach. Also, I'm not a fan of Todd Kerns' harmonies, for basically the same reason. He sings with a very bright, nasal tone, which I find irritating. Another thing to be prepared for with Apocalyptic Love is the difference in mixing. There's a lot more space and clarity within each part, kind of like in classic rock. Along the same lines, none of the parts sound flawless. There are minute imperfections in each section that make the album feel really raw, but that doesn't detract from the music in the slightest, but rather add to the overall vibe. However, even with this record being mixed similar to classic rock, the composition of each song is modern, and Slash's iconic style is unmistakable, even for someone who doesn't know much of his work outside the big hits by Guns N' Roses. The blend of raw, slightly less than perfect mixing with modern rock instrumentals and vocals is a cool combination, though I think there is some room for improvement here. Apocalyptic Love is a solid beginning for SMKC. It's a modern rock record with 13 good songs, but none of them are gonna blow your mind when you listen to them. I've had this album in my library since SMKC released their very creatively titled 4th record 4, but it just doesn't often make it onto my typical rotation. I'll pull out tracks like One Last Thrill, Anastasia, and Shots Fired when I'm in the mood for something comfortable and energetic, but if I'm looking to be fully engaged with a song, I look elsewhere. In this day and age, there's so much music available and still only 24 hours in the day to listen, so when it comes down to it, I've got to be picky with how I spend my time. Here's my recommendation. If you're brand new to this record, go in expecting it to be an extension of Slash's 2000s work with Myles on the mic, but don't expect it to be groundbreaking or revolutionary. If you keep these 2 things in mind, I think you'll probably enjoy it. For a final score, I'm giving Apocalyptic Love by SMKC a 7.8 out of 10. What's your favorite track from Apocalyptic Love? Let me know down in the comments. Tomorrow's album is one that I've been excited to talk about since the start of this project. So come on back at 9 a.m. Central Time for my review of Tremonti's debut record, All I Was. In the meantime, if you've missed any of my reviews and want to get caught up, I put them in a playlist here for you to enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.